Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to the NursingInStyle Podcast, where we empower nurses to think beyond the bedside and step boldly into leadership, ownership, and entrepreneurship. Today's episode is incredibly inspiring because we're joined by a nurse leader whose journey reflects resilience, sacrifice, compassion, and vision. Raised in an immigrant community where caring for family and community was a way of life, Irene learned early what it meant to serve others with dignity and compassion. After immigrating to the United States, she began her healthcare career as a live in home health aide while working tirelessly to create opportunities for herself and for her family. While working full time in acute care as a patient care associate, she simultaneously attended nursing school full time, demonstrating extraordinary perseverance and determination. Today, Irene is a distinguished critical care registered nurse, vascular access and infusion specialist with expertise in ultrasound guided vascular access, PIC and midline placement, and specialty infusion therapy across high acuity settings. She is also the founder of Seshi Health Infusion Group LLC, a company built on a belief that patients deserve exceptional infusion care in the comfort and dignity of their homes. Through her leadership principles of precision, healing, and trust, Irene is redefining what patient centered home infusion care looks like. Today, we'll discuss her journey from bedside nurse to business owner and what it took to make a decision to launch her company and how she's helping elevate the standard of care in home infusion therapy. Please help me welcome Irene Boateng to the podcast.
Woohoo! Hi everyone. Hi, Mr. Neil. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, pronounce your full name for the audience.
So my full name is Irene Demi Anim-Boateng.
Yes, I love when you say it. I can't say it the way you said it. I love the way you say it.
It's okay. It's
Yes. So, Irene, take us back to the beginning. How did your upbringing and immigrant journey shape the nurse and leader that you are today?
Thank you. So I'm originally from Ghana, West Africa, and I immigrated to the United States in 2004. Right? Growing up in Ghana, we there's no differentiation of colors, religion, culture. We all celebrate Christmases together. We celebrate Eid together. It's a blended community. There's no differentiation. It's all a matter of mutual respect, right? You respect each other.
Uh-huh.
There's peace. We keep it moving. So that upbringing, that sense of community, um, helped me a lot when I came over here. I'm based in New York. New York, as they say, is the melting pot of the world, right? It's no
Yes.
lie. Every race, every religion, every culture you can think about, you can find in New York. So this was kind of the perfect place that God, positioned me to be. Now,
Yeah.
when I came, I started working, like you said already, as a home health aide.
Mhm.
For us, it's natural to us, not just as an African immigrant. I think it's just an immigrant culture, right? We take care of our own at home. We don't have nursing homes. We don't have, adult daycares. None of that. It's, at least when I was growing up, we didn't have that. You take care of your grandmother's sick, they're home, and we take turns taking care of them. So it wasn't, I didn't see it as a job, right? I'm like, well, if you're gonna pay me for me to do what I already do, I might as well go for it. So that's when my journey actually started. I started as a home health aide, doing living, taking care of people. I didn't, think anything much about it. I'm doing what I do, which comes naturally, and I'm getting a paycheck for it. So, why not go for it? So
I
that's what.
lo- I love it. I want to go back because you mentioned that when you grew up in Ghana, it was kind of a mixture of cultures. There was really no separation, right? You just kind of respect people and we live cohesively together. You came to New York, it's a melting pot, but do you really see that there's a mutual respect of different religious backgrounds, how we perceive things?
Well,
What's Was there any true difference, or does it just really feel like a continuation?
It didn't feel like a continuation, in the sense that it was different cultures and different religions, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Ghana, it's primarily Christians and Muslims,
Uh-huh.
and we have a few, Hindus and a few other like um, local religions. But
Mm-hmm.
over here, when I came, it was like, oh, it was Christians, Muslims, Hindus, Jews. There's a whole bunch of them that I can think off the top of my head. But
Uh-huh.
my background kind of prepared me, you know, to understand and accept these new cultures and these new religions that I'm getting to know. So I took
Mm-hmm.
it upon myself to learn how to provide for them the way their culture, um I don't want to use the word demand, but culturally acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
you know um Many of the institutions that I've worked with, you do yearly competencies, and I think the topic is cultural competence,
Yes.
if I'm right. Yeah,
Yes.
you're required to do that. But then, aside learning it in institution, you should also, your neighbors are all diverse.
Uh-huh.
So I took it upon myself to learn about other cultures that I didn't know about, so that in providing care, I can be respectful of their cultures and their religion. So that also helped me a lot to, get to where I am today.
Good lift up. I love it. I love it that you took it upon yourself to go and get to know others,
Mhm.
right? And learn about those things so that you don't possibly say or do something that could offend someone just because you don't
Yeah,
understand or know the culture. So smart
absolutely.
move.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So at what point did you realize you wanted more than working solely at the bedside?
Oh boy. So, after COVID was a tough situation for everybody, especially in healthcare. During COVID, I was heavily pregnant. I think, 7, 8 months pregnant. I never missed a day of work. I never
Wow.
called out, and I worked night shift. I went to work every day, scheduled. Everything. I show up to work, and my manager's like, "You made it. You came." I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't I? If I'm not sick, why no, just stay home. But
Uh-huh.
the toll of the whole COVID situation,
Uh-huh.
it took a toll on everybody, especially healthcare workers.
Mhm.
The emotional toll, the physical toll, the
Mhm.
mental toll. It was just a bit too much. Like, probably, I think, 2 years after, the nurses that taught me, I was in the ICU at the time, right?
Mhm.
And I worked with nurses that had been at the bedside 35 years, 37 years, 40 years. These are like legends, right? They
Yes.
taught me ICU, they taught me bedside. Not everything you see in the book is what you see at the bedside.
Mhm.
These are people that you grow up to respect, right?
Yeah.
They all resign. They all retired after COVID. Let me say retired,
Yeah.
not resigned. They all retired. So that knowledge, that that workforce, that you could tap into, everybody, just, there was kind of like a blank space. So
Uh-huh.
now you see yourself, even though I had been in the ICU for like, what, 8 7 8 years at a time, you still look up to them. So when they all retired, there was a gap, and you could feel it. So now you have new grads in the ICUs, new people who have no knowledge of critical care in the ICU. And now you have the responsibility of like training them and teaching them things.
Mhm.
Now, one thing about, I love to teach, I love to learn, right? I'm a
Yeah.
sponge for learning new things. 'Cause I don't know about you, I don't like to look stupid. I like
Yeah.
to, every opportunity that I can get to like educate myself, I'll
Mhm.
take that opportunity. I'm humble enough to do that. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. But
Mhm.
this knowledge gap created a space for me to do what I do without even knowing it, that I was teaching and doing these things. But another thing I learned was not everybody is receptive to what you teach or what
Hmm.
trying to,
Flip
yes,
that.
not everybody is receptive to what you're trying to teach them. So it became a little bit of attack for me, right?
Mhm,
You love doing this, but at the same time, are you doing it the right way? Not people. Some people are receptive, but this is a
mhm,
whole new generation of nurses that we have. But
mhm,
and then at the same time, too, I saw myself going through the motions of the day. I come to work, I go through the motions. The patient is alive. The patient is safe. It became a task which I
mhm,
wasn't enjoying anymore. So I started feeling kind of, something is amiss over here. What else can I do? And I spoke to my manager. Then I was like, I think I need to take a step back, but I really don't want to leave the bedside. I don't want to leave the hospital, and I don't know what to do. But of course,
mhm,
with everything that I do, I prayed about it and just wait and be patient. Um, so there's a procedure room in the ICU that I used to work with, where
mhm.
people come in, both inpatients, outpatients. They come in, they have the temporary central line placed, such as
Right.
PIC lines, TLC, Shileys, and all that. And I'm like, oh, I just want to know, what goes on in that room, how the lines are placed, what kind of lines. And, the ICU deal with all these lines, you see them, but do you really know what they're for or how they look outside the patient's, anatomy? So the lady that worked in that room, Miss Natalie Keaton, she was
Mhm.
also one of the ICU gurus. She just retired. Like she's been there for what, 42 years at the bedside.
Uh-huh.
So that's somebody, I call her one of my mentors. I gravitated towards her because she was also willing to teach you, right?
Mhm,
She didn't lose any chance to teach. If you ask her a question, oh sure, come over. So I said, hey, Miss Knight, I really want to know what goes on in this room. Is it okay if I spend some time? She said, yeah, sure. So um, it was a different service from the ICU, the vascular
mhm.
access service.
Uh-huh.
And the manager of the vascular access service at the time, she was also one of my instructors in nursing school, right?
Huh?
So she actually, like, got me all into the surgical ICU, transplant ICU situation. But she left to vascular access just as I joined the ICU. So I said, hey, can I come shadow somebody in your service just to see how the whole vascular access situation goes on? We've heard about it, but what really goes on? So I
Mhm.
shadowed one person and I'm like, this is not for me, this is not
Uh-huh.
for me. So she's like, okay, just let me know when you're ready. I said, okay. So a few months passed and I was like, I went back to Miss Natalie. I said, can I shadow you for a few days? She said, sure. So I had like a 1 week vacation.
Okay.
Um, and I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just gonna stay home. So I'll come during my vacation time.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I said I'll come in during my vacation and then learn and see what goes on in there. So I
Uh-huh.
went, I think, for 5 days straight. I spent my time in the procedure room in the surgical ICU. And I'm like, oh, so this is what goes on over here. It's a
Mhm,
whole different world that I didn't even know existed, right? So that got
mhm.
me all ramped up. And then I called the manager for the vascular access team. I said, I'm ready.
Uh-huh.
Said I'm right there. She's like, oh, I just hired 5 people, so I have no vacancy. I said, it's okay, no problem. Just let me know. Literally,
Mhm.
2 weeks later, she calls me and she's like, hey, I had 3 people resign, unexpectedly. Are you still interested? I said, yes, of course, I am. So, the interview was like, over the what, Zoom and all that. And
Yeah.
I've been with them since then. And it's been such a learning process. It's a whole different world. Infusion
Yeah.
and vascular access, they're sisters. I was telling somebody this morning, they're
Uh-huh.
they're twins. Not just they're fraternal twins, right? One does
Yep.
not go without the other. So as much as I was learning vascular access, I was learning infusion at the same time. Right?
I love it for you because you were curious,
I
right?
was
You're
curious.
curious, you was looking for something else and you took initiative to go find it. There are
Yeah.
many nurses that don't know that vascular access is a whole opportunity for you, whole opportunity for management, whole opportunity in specialized focused nursing care, and whole opportunity to that can bring you to next levels. So let's talk more about what was the defining moment when you decided to transition from being a vascular access nurse in addition to becoming an entrepreneur.
Defining moment.
Yeah.
I was just tired. I was just tired. You know how, you go through a phase where like everything is just going wrong?
Mm-hmm.
I was going through that phase. I was going through that phase where I was like, this cannot be it. you know I was like, this cannot be it. Just, I love what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I love the people that teach me, and every day, but this cannot be it. You start getting uncomfortable when change is about to happen,
Uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh.
I've grown in tuned to that fact about me. When change is about to happen, I start feeling uneasy, I start feeling uncomfortable. But thank God for the spirit of discernment. um I listened to that, right? I
Mm.
listened to that, and then that kind of guides me. But I was like, I'm tired. Mind you, in as much as I was working vascular access, at the same time, I still worked ICU as a travel nurse.
Yeah.
So I was doing two full-time jobs at the same time, which was crazy. I know a lot of
Uh-huh.
nurses do
But
that.
it's nothing.
I know a lot of nurses do that, but that's nuts. And then I have a little one at home. She's 5 years old, a little mini
Mm-hmm.
me, and it was taking time away from her. Right?
Mm-hmm.
She's growing. She's my miracle, and I'm like, I want
Mm-hmm.
to spend time with her, and I wasn't getting that. So something's got to give. Something's
Mm-hmm.
got to give. I was just tired. I was just tired.
Oh.
And
So we got tired and we started looking at what other options. So
yes,
what gave you the confidence to bet on yourself and move forward with, okay, I'm tired, but I'm going to do something about it. What gave you that confidence?
I went to an INS conference.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I went to INS conference, and everybody that I saw or met had their own infusion company. I'm like,
Mm.
hold on a second, what's going on over here? Right? And this was my first time. And thankfully, I had met you at the AVA conference a few months before, a year before, and we kind of stayed in touch. But I didn't realize at the time that, you were the director president at the time of INS. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So at the conference, everybody comes to me like, "Oh, are you an infusion nurse?" I'm like, no, I'm mainly vascular access. Oh, I have my own infusion company, blah blah blah. Literally everyone that you spoke to, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. I've spoken to probably 15 people, and they all have their home infusion company. So what am I missing over here, right?
Uh-huh.
And then
Okay.
uh, I was invited. I was honored to be invited to a dinner by a lady called Miss Danielle Jenkins, where I was privileged to meet some powerful ladies, right?
Mhm.
Mentorship is so important.
It is.
I met these ladies, and they all spoke about what they were doing and what they had done, and I'm like, I can totally do this, but with the right guidance, right? I can
Yeah.
totally do this. um I'm not gonna lie, I've tried some other businesses, but I tried to do it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So this time around, I was so sure. And also, I guess because of the fact that I had gone to conferences, and I knew that this I'm enjoying this, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm loving doing this. So let me do it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Let me do it the right way. But me going to one of the INS conferences gave me that leap of faith. And I knew that, yes, this is totally possible for me to do.
I love it. So putting yourselves in the right rooms, going to conferences, getting involved at the next level is what really helped to immerse you and put you around a different level of thinkers. When you get around people who are thinking at a different level, naturally, you're going
Yeah.
to start thinking differently. You've seen all of
Absolutely.
these nurses that started their own business. You're like, wait, what am I missing?
Yep.
Oh, why haven't I done that? I'm just as smart. I can do this, right? It takes
Yep.
being in those types of rooms. But if you're constantly around everybody doing the exact same things, you're going to keep doing the exact same things.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of you for elevating. I'm proud of you for being a part of associations. So if you're a critical care nurse out there, join the Critical Care Nursing Association. You're an
Yep.
infusion nurse, join the Infusion Nursing Association. You're a vascular nurse, join the Vascular Associations. Get involved, take yourselves to the next level. Clip that. All
Yeah.
right. So your story deeply reflects cultural values around caring for family and community, the way that your company is going to influence the community that you serve. Let's talk about bringing vascular access, what you do, because doing vascular access, ultrasound guided PIVs. All of this is like your language, your normal, right? We think about these patients that are difficult intravenous access and they're in the home environment. They have to get this IV in so they can get their IVIG, etc. And a lot of home health agencies struggle. A lot of different companies struggle with successful IV placements. Talk to me about what Seshi Health Infusion Group expertise is going to bring into the home environments to make it better for your patients.
So, one thing I'm very particular about in hiring my nurses is, um, I know people don't think much about certification,
Mm-hmm.
but certification shows not necessarily shows your expertise, but gives you some knowledge and some a badge or confidence that, hey, this person really knows what they're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Certification wasn't a big issue a few years ago, but now it's become the standard. Most of the nurses that I hire have been working for years as home infusion nurses, oncology nurses, ICU nurses. So I'm very, very particular about the nurses that I hire, because you're going into people's homes, you're going into their sacred spaces, right? You have to make sure you're sending the right person into the right home.
Yes.
So we like my motto says, precision, healing, and trust. I'm very precise about who I'm bringing into your home, right? Because we are coming to help with your healing process. Uh, in that aspect that we're doing all that, we want to earn your trust at the same time,
Mm-hmm. All
right?
right. And so Seshi Health Infusion Group, where are you servicing clients?
At the moment, we are really based in New York, but we service New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and most of the 15 states of the United States.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. So, if you're a nurse that have ever considered home infusion nursing, a lot of people know home health nursing. They
yes,
don't know the beauty of home infusion nurses.
yes,
Nurses that go in the home with a focus on administering any type of IV therapy, whether it be biologics, antibiotics, TPN,
and
IVIGs,
yeah.
a whole gamut of different drugs that focuses on chronic illnesses, people who will be suffering with these illnesses all their lives. And having home infusion services gives them an opportunity to continue their lives,
Mm-hmm.
right? And get their therapy at times that works well for them. A lot of these people are still working, still having functional lives, but have to have these life saving medicines. So I love that your company, Session Health Infusion Group in New York, is being able to assist by providing the best nurses in the home that can do ultrasound guided IV placements, increasing chances for success, and have the knowledge base that is needed to manage these patients. So kudos to you, Seshi Health Infusion Group, and your entire team. So what would you say to nurses who feel called to entrepreneurship, but they are afraid to start?
So just before I answer that question, we don't just go to people's homes. We also provide nurses for infusion suites, for centers.
All
We also
right.
for clinics, rheumatology clinics, hospitals. So it's not just the home, but we provide nurses for all, healthcare entities. Now,
Very good. So, a full healthcare staffing
yes,
company that provides services to hospitals, ambulatory infusion centers. You hear her. This is
yeah,
a call out. If you are running short on nurses, nurses call out, nurses go on vacation, that can wreck an ambulatory infusion center. Your
yep.
company is an opportunity to contract with you and be able to provide reputable nurses that have the skill set in those settings. So, outstanding hospitals in New York. If you're looking for a company that's going to give you reputable nurses at amazing price points, contact Seshi Health Infusion Group. They are licensed and ready to go.
Yes.
So, what mindset shift must nurses make before stepping into ownership? What do you think is the mindset difference when you step into on ownership?
Resilience.
Mm,
Resilience. So, I know a lot of nurses who want to, nobody wants to be at a bedside their whole career. Not every nurse. Some people, hey, God bless you for doing that. If you want to stay at the bedside, I really respect that,
Yeah.
but not everybody's cut out for the bedside. And sometimes it's very obvious. But the mindset, you need to have that mindset of humility and resilience. Humility and resilience. You have to be resilient for all the setbacks, all the rejections, all the, the waiting and the uncertainties. But at the same time, you have to be humble enough to ask for help.
Yes, I love it. And if you can go back and speak to your younger self, what advice would you give her?
That took me for a moment. If I could go back to a younger version of myself, I'll tell her, trust the process.
Ooh, clip that. Trust the process.
Trust the process. And also to understand her own strength. We are stronger than we think. Every setback is a learning process, right? Every setback is a learning process. Be humble in the waiting period.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little emotional about that. Understanding that everything that you're going through is a process. Okay, growth does not happen in I'm trying to find the right way to say it. Growth does not happen in your comfort zone. That's something I had to psych myself up to. Growth does not happen in your comfort zone. So if you want to venture out, you cannot be comfortable. You cannot be comfortable where you are. You gotta shift. You gotta move. You gotta be, I don't want to say reckless, but be reckless in pursuing what you want to do. Be reckless and be.
Let's move the word reckless to taking chances. You got to be willing to take risks.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Reckless is a little dangerous, but yeah, take risks. Be risky. Actually, when I was younger, my name was Risky because I was one of my neighbors named me Risky because I was a tomboy. But yes, take risks. Don't be scared to take risks. Growth is slow. Anything good doesn't come quickly. Growth is slow. Just be patient. It will come.
Yes. I love it. We're going to go through some rapid fires as we get ready to close out. I want to take a moment. We had 2 comments. Thank you, Jacob Hicks, for watching and being in tune with us. Thank you, Joanna. She said, "You're so beautiful. God bless you." Thank you, Joanna Miha, for being here with us. So, rapid fire question. One word that describes your journey. One word.
Resilience.
All right. One lesson entrepreneurship taught you the hard way.
Humility.
One thing every nurse entrepreneur must have.
Change of mindset.
And what does ownership mean to you?
Financial freedom.
Ooh, clip that. What final message would you like to leave with nurses who are listening and wondering if they should finally bet on themselves?
Take that leap of faith.
Very good. Well, Irene, it has been an absolute pleasure being here with you on the NursingInStyle Podcast.
It was an honor.
Yes. I hope that our listeners have gotten some amazing lessons and some understanding. And I hope that Seshi Health Infusion Group continues to grow and thrive all over New York. You all have a fantastic day, and thank you for watching.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you.
Yeah.